worse than a fool is a drunk fool. I don't want you to see me like this.
Well, that's too bad. Because I'm not leaving you.
Well, I'd invite you for a drink, but it appears that I've broken all the glasses.
You need to stop this. It's getting a little pathetic.
This is not self-pity, Liz. No. This is just a good, healthy dose of cynicism, that's all.
You can call it whatever you want, but it's not going to fix anything.
On the contrary, this stuff works quite nicely. Granted, it doesn't kill the pain completely, but it does dull it and make it more manageable.
I know how badly this must hurt, and I am so sorry.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. Those who say things. The truth will set you free. But see, that's not true. That's a lie. It only makes you realize what an idiot you've been and still are. God, I miss Emily. I really do. And I try to pretend that everything's fine, but it really isn't. When I get drunk, it just boils all up inside and chokes me to death. It's even worse when I'm sober. It's like you said, I constantly look for Emily substitutes. Sweet, silly Nadine. Emily Light. Great girl. Just in way over her head. And then Rebecca. Emily Dark. Duped again, eh, Liz?
Nicholas, this isn't your fault.
Come on, of course it is. You had Rebecca pegged from day one. Greedy sister out to get what Emily had. How right you were.
Believe me, I get no satisfaction
I
from
just wouldn't listen, would I? Ignored all the warnings from you and Lexus and whoever else. Left myself wide open.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Because you're so deeply in love.
With Emily, who's dead now.
No. With your own suffering.
How's this for a metaphor? Elizabeth straightens up my trashed life. I actually liked your first perspective better, that I'm in love with my own misery.
Let me tell you something about my best friend, Emily. She wasn't this angel that you painted her in your grief. She was human, flawed, just like the rest of us. And she'd be the first one to tell you.
Depends on your point of view, I suppose.
All right. Well, let's see. I can recall her being involved with Sunny Corinthos. Do you remember that? Yeah, and she also broke Xander's heart when she realized she was in love with you. See, she screwed up too, but the difference is she lived her life the best she could.
Yep. And then she died.
And if you had died instead, I promise you she would have kept on living. She would have followed her dreams and become a doctor and fallen in love again. And she would have kept the love that the two of you shared in her heart and learned from it. But you, Nicholas, you've turned your love and your memories into this shrine. You've created a fantasy out of Emily that no woman could ever live up to, especially Emily herself. And it's not fair to her, to you, or anyone else who loves you.
I am a coward. I'm secure with my misery. Yep, Emily will always be close, even if the only thing I feel is her loss.
Have you even tried to move on?
Yes, of course I have. I wanted it to work with Nadine. I mean, she's a good person, sweet, uncomplicated.
And that was the attraction. She made things simple for you. You never had to invest your real emotion.
Can we just call it a transitional relationship and move on, please?
Yeah, okay, sure. Let's move on. Let's talk about Rebecca.
Okay, well, no one can accuse me of not being invested in that. Emotionally. And I can't remember the last time I was this angry.
What she did was horrible, and the way she used you, but if we're being honest here, you used her too.
What? How can you say that? You can't be suggesting moral equivalency here.
Okay, some doctors prescribe placebos to make their patients think that they're taking real medicine, but if you know it's a fake, even though it looks the same, you see a sugar pill with no real merit. That's what Rebecca is to you in your mind, a fake Emily. So when you're with her, you never have to invest your heart in her at all.
I can only say this to someone who loves me like you do. Rebecca made a fool out of me, and I am absolutely humiliated that I fell for it.
When you got what you thought you wanted at the time.
And you're right. You're right. No matter how many different ways I try and rationalize it, a huge part of what attracted me to Rebecca in the first place was that she looked just like Emily.
Well, people are attracted to the same type.
No. See, this one goes much deeper than that. I figured up here that if I couldn't be with Emily, well, I could just be with her twin sister. And I don't know. I guess it was a way for me to be with another woman without feeling like I'm betraying Emily.
Nicholas, you can't betray a dead woman. Unless you're using her as an excuse to bring your life to a grinding halt.
Which I seem to have done.
You have suffered a terrible loss, and yes, it was unfair and it was devastating, but it happened. Stop looking back. Stop wasting your time. Nicholas, you are a wonderful man with so much to offer. You've got to find something or someone you can believe in, or you want, or you care about.
Oh, God. There's only been one time since Emily died that I stopped thinking about her. That I wasn't living in the past. And the only thing that mattered was right in front of me. Just once.
Nicholas! Mr. Cassadine gave strict instructions that he did not want to be disturbed. I must admit that his mood was troubling.
Nicholas is not in a very good place right now. And I didn't help matters much. Where's Nicholas now?
Miss Elizabeth stopped by to check on him. I think they are still up in the turret.